Here in Elverum, about 30 minutes north of Oslo. We're enjoying beautiful summer weather, and we're hoping for some glorious summer timber sports to boot. The song said that 3 is the magic number, but you know what? Today, 6 is the magic number. There are going to be 6 pro athletes competing in 6 disciplines, and there might even be 6 funny comments from my commentator Troy here today. We'll have to wait and see.
1 or 2 maybe.
My name is Matt Beadle. You're very welcome to these, the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Nordic Championships 2023, coming, as we said, live from this fantastic festival here just outside of Oslo. Welcome, of course, also to the voice of timber sports himself. Some say that he prefers the underhand chop to a pork chop. He is the Canadian caller. It's Troy Mannering.
Thanks very much. Your intros of me get weirder every time, Matt, I got to say, but I like it. Keeps it interesting and fun.
Keeps it fresh.
Absolutely. Hey, we have a treat in store for you today. 6 of the best Norwegian, or excuse me, I should say Scandinavian athletes will be competing on stage here to see who will be the Scandinavian champion here, or the Nordics champion at our STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Nordics Championships 2023. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's the 2 of us. There is one more as well. That is our local host, Lars Eikanger, and we're going to go straight over to him on the stage. So our Lars is dutifully speaking his beautiful Norwegian to the local crowd here, so we will do our best to commentate on what you are seeing. We're welcoming the referees here. This is Bart Jansen and Radu Kazaku. They will be our judges on stage today. And we also have a 3rd judge, should it come down to a close video finish, and that is Nout van Leer. There he is, looking good, Nout. Thumbs up to you too, sir. So we've got the referees, we've got the commentator, we've got a couple of hosts. It's time to see the gentlemen that we all came here for today, and those are our Timber Sports pros.
I think that means pro-klasse means the pro class. I'm quickly learning Norwegian.
You've mastered the Norwegian language, haven't you?
So there we have Ole Magnus Suljeberget coming on stage right now.
We have 2 Norwegians and 4 Swedes today.
Ole Magnus holds the world record, by the way, for stock saw, so he'll be looking to do well in that discipline today.
And the second athlete coming on stage here is Vebjørn Sundstebø. The athletes know each other well here. They're all on the tour together. And our 3rd pro on stage today from Sweden, 31 years old, weighing in at 104 kilos, 185 centimeters. It is Carla Svadling. I am so glad that Lars pronounced his name, because I will struggle. A very warm welcome. We're going to call him Pontus. He's 31 years old, 115 kilos, 2nd in the Nordic Pro Cup this year. Can he go one further in the Nordic Championships today?
Super funny guy as well. Always sort of upbeat and grinning. Pontus Schie.
Entering the stage now, the 3rd Swede in the setup, very possibly one of the finest athletes in the whole timber sports world, not only in the Nordic area, a phenomenal performer at only 26 years old, 178 centimeters. He's been at all sorts of world and European championships, current reigning Nordic Pro champion, the World Trophy European Qualifier first place, 4 Nations Cup first place, you name it, he's done it. He could be one of the favorites today. And wrapping up the field, another cracking talent in this sport. It's Emil Hansson from Sweden, 22 years old. Also a very well respected and very well rated Swedish athlete here.
Yeah, there's been some great battles between Ferry, Svan, and Emil Hansson to see who would take top honors in Sweden in the last couple of years. So, yeah, Emil's had the better of Ferry the last little while, but Ferry has been on fire this season.
Beautiful. So those are the 6. We're going to see 6 competitors competing in 6 disciplines. There will be no elimination today. For those of you who are regulars to STIHL Timbersports, normally there is a format where we will lose competitors as we go. Today's format is slightly different. Check this out.
The STIHL Timbersports individual competition. In the first round, all athletes compete in 3 disciplines: the underhand chop, the stock saw, and the standing block chop. The times achieved will be converted into points upon completion of each discipline. In round 1, a difference of 1 point applies in each discipline, thus the fastest athlete received 12 points and the slowest only 1 point. Any rule infraction will result in a disqualification, and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. At the end of the first round, the athletes with the lowest scores are eliminated. Only 8 athletes make it to the second round. The axes used in Timbersports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store. Made from special steel, the blade is hand-sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. Kilos, and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you can shave with it.
Okay, we are there now. We thought we were going to be there a moment ago, but now we're definitely there, so we know what it's all about. We're going into the first discipline. Remember, though, there is no elimination like that clip just said. Ignore that bit. Everything else is the same. Let's dive in and have a look at the rundown for the first heats of the first discipline. Here we go. Hopefully we can see the heats come up here. Here they are. Beautiful. The underhand chop is the first discipline of the day. We're going to see Svan going up against Hjulberger in the first heat, then Zonstebø going up against Skur in the second heat, and the all-Swedish pairing of Svan versus Hansson, the 2 favorites going up against each other, wouldn't you know it, in the very first round.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, too, that we're not losing any athletes, so these guys are really going to be on point to make sure they're getting the points that they need throughout all of these heats and everything, and we're just kind of trying to stay hydrated here as we move into a little bit of a cooler time of the day. But the first heat up, Kalle Svadling going up against Ole Magnus Suljeberget.
There is the magic whistle. You'll hear a whistle at the beginning of every discipline and at the end.
Stand to your timber.
We're ready to go. Here we go.
1,
the Nordic Championships 2023, Svadling versus Suljeberget.
Suljeberget getting in there with really quick drivers and making sure that he's keeping the pace up. You got a couple of sticky axes there. Kalle Svadling on the other side going for those heavy drivers. Oh, that was a beautiful transition over to the other side by Kalle Svadling, though. Quick, and he got into that second side. He's about 4 or 5 strokes ahead of Suljeberget at the moment as the time rounds up towards 25 seconds. Suljeberget and Svadling going at it. Should be Svadling getting through there first, and he does it in a time of 29.02. Suljeberget right there with them, though, with a 29.97. Very, very close heat between these 2.
Good start, strong start. We saw the rookies this morning. We ended up seeing a couple of personal bests, and even a national record fell this morning as Edvin Karlsson became the rookie Nordic champion. But they did start slowly this morning, but that's not the case here in the post.
No, it was a slow start this morning. And we've got both cuts are good, so Radu Kasagu has given us a thumbs up, and that's something that you're going to see all day long today. We should also mention that the times that come up on screen are unofficial until we do get the thumbs up from our judge Radu, who comes up to the decision zone to give us that. And there you can see the cuts from Ole Magnus Suljeberget there. Really nice, clean cuts, and you might get a glimpse of the chainmail socks that these guys have to wear as well. But look at that transition by Kalle Svadling. He was right around the corner so quickly, and that was a beautiful cut through from Suljeberget, and the time so close between those guys.
Absolutely, not much in it at all. Svardling with a 28.75, and Suleberget will put 29.51 on the board. So we're ready for hit number 2. That's the Dane Zunsterberg going up against the Swede Skur. Personal best here in the low 20s, so if we get anywhere close to that, this should be interesting. Svardling currently in first place, 28.75.
Okay.
Here we go.
Entrance, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So on the left-hand side of your screen for Bjorn Sonsteby, on the right-hand side, Pontus Schie. And both of them getting into it right away. Sonsteby opting to start his hits off facing the audience, and they both switch to the other side at exactly the same time. So this is going to be a close battle between these two guys. Who's going to be through first? Schie looks pretty good on his second side. Sonsteby is not too bad. I can't really tell from that angle, but it's going to be Pontus Schie through in a 26.46. Sonsteby struggling on the second side with a bit of a sticky axe a couple of times, but he does get through. And there's a bit of salad there as well, as his cuts were really active but not super accurate.
Schur goes into first place with that. Very nice indeed. 26.46. We just got to check if the referees give us the green light that both scores are accepted. If they do, that will put Schur in first place as we stand.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both cuts are good.
Beautiful. Thank you very much to the referee, Raudu Kazaku. We're going to check out some slow motion action of this heat here. Quick start there from Zunsterby.
Yeah, both of them got off to a really good start, chipping out really nicely, but you can see Pontus Schie has just a little bit cleaner cuts on his edges there, and as they come around, they both drive in at the same time on their second sides, but it's Pontus with the accuracy that was really beneficial for him, so each of his drivers was pretty clean through, and that gave him the advantage of giving them the fastest time so far at 26.18.
Okay, so we've seen 2 heats so far in the underhand chop, 1 more heat to come, and then 5 disciplines after that. You made a great call this morning when you put out the favourite right at the beginning of the show, and it ended up being the winner.
Oh.
You prepared to put your money where your mouth is and tell us who you might think the favourites are today?
That's a tough call. It's a toss-up between Emil Hansson and Ferry Svan.
Right.
I'm going to say with the luck going Emil Hansson's way the last couple of seasons, I'm going to go with Ferry Svan today because he's really motivated to make sure he is back on board and the top man in Swedish timber sports. Carries
a bit of a reputation of being very fast, very athletic, but sometimes doesn't have that final push in the big moments. Do you think that's a fair criticism?
Half and half, yeah. I mean, he's definitely athletic. He's one of the most fit athletes in the whole entire world of timber sports, if not in the whole entire world of athletes. I mean, the dude is in shape. I mean, he's fit from his what do you call
physique.
it? Not physique, Ausdauer in German. I don't know what the word is in English anymore. It's terrible.
Condition.
His conditioning. So, he can go the distance. He's got the accuracy in his cuts. He's very, very good on each of the disciplines. So he's got the full package. It's just sometimes he's gotten a little bit inside his own head about, when he's going up against somebody that's pushing him a little bit. So that's
let's
the thing.
see. He's going to go up against somebody who's going to push him right now.
Yes,
let's
sir.
go to the third and final heat in the first discipline, the underhand chop. There he is, Svan on the left. Personal best of 19.28. Going up against the other favourite today, Emil Hansson, both of them from Sweden.
Yeah, and Emil Hansson, as you see, holds the national record at 16.71. He also has pedigree in his family with his dad, Hans Ove Hansson, being one of the premier wood choppers of his day.
Right.
So, that's definitely helped him progress up the rookie ranks and into the pro ranks much quicker than, say, somebody who is just coming into the sport cold.
Yeah. If you see it and hear it at home every day, there's got to be a bit of osmosis, hasn't there?
That does definitely play a role.
Right, so these are the 2 favourites potentially for the whole title today. This is Svan on the left of your screen going up against Hansson on the right.
big chips flying out right away, and you can see how quickly the axe is moving with these two guys. They're both hammering away, but it's not just the accuracy, it's the pace. Ferry Svan moving over to the second side of his block ahead of Emil Hansson, and it may well be a battle right down to it for Hansson. Hansson's got a powerful driver, though, and Ferry Svan looks like he's through in a great time of 21.70. Hansson right behind him by 1 stroke and 22.98. Those will definitely adjust down after the judges give the final look at it, but that was a quick run for both of these guys.
Indeed, very quick. That takes both of them to the top of the standings. In fact, if those times stand, let's wait for the call from the referee.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, those cuts are good.
Indeed, Ferry Svan with a time of 21.49 goes to the top of the underhand chop table. He'll take home 12 points with him into the next round. And Emil Hansson closely behind with a time of 22.65. That's good enough for second place. So the favourites really making a statement here at the beginning.
All right, so look at, you can see how quickly both of these guys are just driving that axe in. And what's really key for Ferry Svan in this case is his accuracy. He's so good, and because his fitness level is so high, he doesn't get tired as quickly, and because he's not a big muscle package, you know, his muscles don't require as much oxygen to stay active. Now you can see here, Emil Hansson also having some beautiful cuts there. Last couple of drivers on the second side for Ferry Svan, and there you see it, a nice breakthrough and the top time of the day. And after adjustment, we see it's gone to 21.49. Emil Hansson's adjusted to 22.65. So really, really close together, these two guys here.
I love the glance upwards to the clock at the back of the stage just as they finish the discipline, just to get that confirmation. I think athletes normally know when it's been good, but the times are great. So there is the confirmation. Svan with a time of 21.49 will take 12 points into the second discipline. He is followed by 3 Swedes, Hansson, Skur and Svadling, and the 2 Danes will make up the rankings in the underhand chop, 8 and 7 points respectively for Zuliberget and Zonstebø. Remember, no one drops out. Everyone will perform all 6 disciplines today, but those points are super valuable, aren't they?
They're very valuable, and these guys want to try and get as high a set of points in each of these rounds, but you know, for them it's important to stay really active throughout these rounds because it's only 6 guys going through, and by the time they reach that hot saw in discipline number 6, it's where it's really going to start to play a role how well they've proceeded through each of the different disciplines.
Oh yes, that's the hot saw. That is to come. The next discipline, though, is the stock saw.
The STIHL MS661CM stock saw is used in STIHL TIMBERSPORTS as the ultimate test of operator skill. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc, and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional STIHL technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark, 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
So, the 3 heats for the stock saw. We will see Zonstebø going up against the favourite Ferry Svan in heat 1, Hansson, Zuliberget in heat 2, and the all-Swedish heat, Skur versus Svadling in heat 3. The world record stands at 8.51, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is a quick one. If you are new to the sport, just a couple of strokes, 1 down, 1 up, that's it. And they've got about a 10-centimeter leeway room on the log. You might see, depending on the angle of the camera, a certain close-up showing you the line that the athletes can't cross. But it's a quick one. Here we go. This is Zonstebø versus Svan in heat 1 of the stock saw.
This is a discipline that kind of vexed Svan
ready.
for a while, but he's been working on it hard, so we may
timber.
see a good cut from him today.
3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, that was close between the two of them. Vebjorn
so
Sonsteby
close.
with a little bit faster time there, 11:15. Ferry Svan with an 11:34.
I mean, there's only 1900ths in that, so after the correction, we may see a change indeed. Ferry Svan has been corrected slightly down.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both cuts are good.
Beautiful. Ferry
so
Svan
in-
takes an 11:24, good enough for second place as it stands, but the slightly faster, just 2100ths faster, Sonsteby with an 11:04.
Yeah, and this is not about power. This is more about precision and reading the machine and listening to the motor. You don't want to push too hard. You want to make sure you got the perfect transition at the bottom, like we just saw there from Sonsteby. That's a pretty fat cookie right there for Ferry Svan. Thin to win is the way to go here, so you want to try and keep it as thin as possible. That second cookie from Sonsteby, beautifully thin. The thinner cookie won't drag on the saw as much, and that's a nice thin cookie for Ferry Svan. He didn't have a choice, though, and it got risky thin at the top of
Because he
that
only
cut.
had a certain amount of space left. This is heat 2 then. This is the Swede Hansson going up against Uli Berget. Both sub 10-second personal bests here, so we have two champions of the saw right here in heat 2 of the stock saw.
Uli Berget is the current world record holder in this discipline with an 8.51, so you know he knows how to operate this saw. And these saws are not adjusted at all for these athletes. There's no changing of the chain. The bars are the same. The motors are the same. They've been checked by a steel technician to make sure that both engines are running at the same amount of horsepower. So it's about as even as it gets.
Warm up your souls.
I'm never quite sure whether to say something over that part or just
Ready.
let the machines speak for
Stand
themselves.
to your
This is
timber.
heat 2. This is
3,
Hansson versus
2,
Uli Berget.
1, go!
Great start by both of them, both looking good with thin cookies to start things off with. Transition for Hansson was nice. Uli Berget looking very good as well. And that's another great time. Uli Berget with a
Very quick.
10.35. Emil Hansson with a 12.78. And that means that Uli Berget will go to the top of the stock saw listing here, just ahead of Vebjorn Sonsteby and Ferry Svan and Emil Hansson sitting in third and fourth place there.
Very quick
Ladies
stock
and
saw
gentlemen,
there, but he is, of
both
course,
cuts are
the world record holder with 8.51. Doesn't beat that today, but a very quick 10.24 is, as my colleague just said, going to be good enough for first place as it stands in the stock saw. Here we see the replay. Both very smooth, weren't they?
Yeah, and they both got up on there pretty quick. Their lift and set was beautiful. Look how thin that cookie is, though, and that transition by Uli Berget into another really nice thin cookie was just perfect. Hansson had a pretty nice first cookie. There's the problem there was with Emil. He had a cutout to start the second cut on the upcut, so he had to reset, and that kills his time a little bit. So Uli Berget benefited from that, and Hansson's got a bit of a thicker cookie on the second one, but he did end up getting a complete cookie.
So the third and final heat of the stock saw, it's the two Swedes. It's STIHL going up against Svadling. Will they get anywhere close to that stock saw world record set back in 2021 by Uli Berget, who we've just seen on the stage?
Well, both of them are very, very good sawyers with the stock saw in hand. They're both under 10-second cutters regularly. Kalle Svadling, a 9.38, and personal best for Pontus STIHL is a 9.14 and the national record for Sweden. So both of these guys pretty evenly matched up. Both of them very strong in the discipline.
Okay, warm up your souls.
Pontus STIHL opting just to
Advance,
have the
ready.
thing running, give it one
Stand
pull, and
to your timber.
get ready to go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Very nice start by both of them. That's a good thin cookie for Pontus. Look at the transition there by Shia. Kalle Swadling looking good as well. Wow, a couple of great times, 10.88 and 10.92. So this is where, we have an incomplete cookie though. But he did see it, so he's going to go back and cut. That means that Kalle Swadling's time is going to be considerably slower, but he will not have a DQ in this case at least. But the difference here is that he noticed it while the saw was still running. He didn't turn off the saw. Had he turned off the saw,
right,
then it would have been a DQ for him.
Got it. Good spot then. So the time won't help him hugely, but the points that he gets to take with him certainly will. Good strategic decision there.
So Kalle Swadling's 10.73 will get dumped down here.
Yeah,
Both cuts are good.
Both cuts are good. So as Troy said there, he avoided the DQ certainly, but the time will be pretty terrible. 28.15 it's been confirmed at, but good enough for 6th place and good enough for 7 points. So quite a clever move there.
So you can see here on the second cut, there's the cutout by Kalle Swadling just on the left-hand side of the log at the tip of the bar. He took a look at the time, and then he took a look down at the cookie that was on the ground, and he saw that it was incomplete, so he went back and did the recut. There's the cutout there.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, you could see that's going to be a disqualification right there. And then he noticed it once it was on the ground before he turned the saw off. Watch, I guess we don't get to see that, but he did come back to it, noticed it, and made the recut. So he's going to be in around the 20-25 second mark for his cut, which isn't going to be great, but at least he's got a time on the board.
Indeed. So in those tight situations, although they're under pressure, they've still got to make quick strategic decisions, haven't they?
They do, and sometimes you don't see the cut that you're making because the motor of the saw is in the way, and it's only from feel. And I mean, the really, really good guys will know that their angle is wrong. They cut out, they'll feel that the saw moves just a little bit too easily through the wood, and then they'll go back and they'll have a quick look before they turn off the saw. If you, however, turn off the saw, which we have seen with some of the rookies, they made the mistake of not checking their wood and turning off the saw and putting it down and going, yeah, I'm done. And then all of a sudden they're like, what, DQ? So it's that realization that's a learning process, and the pros know this. And, you know, Kalle saw it, and he went down there and made the necessary adjustments to get a cookie on the deck.
Very nice indeed. Let's see what that means for the scores. Let's see the ranking first of all in the stock saw. There they are, the confirmation that Sullyberg got the fastest time at 10.24. He is the world record holder at 8.51, but really setting the cat amongst the pigeons there with a cracking score, which will give him 12 points. That strategic decision to cut a third slice from Swadling is clever enough to give him 7 points, which puts him on 16 points, just behind Zernsteby on 17. Hansson in 4th place, currently in 19 points. And we have joint leaders from Switzerland, Svan and Shia, at the moment, both on 21 points. Okay, so our favourites, Hansson, still got a little bit of work to do, right?
He's got a bit of work to do, and by virtue of both Ferry, Svan, and Emil Hansson not having great stock saws, they've been shuffled down in the stock saw rankings, which gave them lower points. But we see that Ferry Svan had enough points because of the first discipline being very good, that he's on top of the rankings for the moment, just in front of Pontus Shia.
Okay, I think what is really interesting about STIHL TIMBERSPORTS is about the different disciplines. So they've been not so good in 2. Let's see if they're good in the 3rd.
Yes.
Let's check out the 3rd. It is the standing block chop.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
All right, so...
Excuse me, adjusting my headset here. My microphone was cutting into the back of my head a little bit. Beautiful. So as I was saying, there are 6 disciplines today, and it's all about whether you've got the strengths in the different ones, right? Let's have a look who's going to be good enough in the standing block chop. We're going to see 3 heats again, of course. We're going to see Sullyberg versus Swadling in heat 1. Heat 2 is going to be Shia and Svan, our favourite, again pegged up against Hansson. That'll be very, very interesting because these two are both very quick with the axe, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very good with the axe, especially in the standing block chop. Both of them usually are the backup, or not the backup, but the guys that finish off the team competition in that discipline. So we'll see. It's been a bit of a toss-up. Ferry and Emil both switch up between the underhand chop and the standing block chop in the team competition. So let's see how it goes. But in the meantime, Kalle Svadling going up against Ole Magnus Siljeberget. And we've got a little bit of an issue with the block of Siljeberget. So Bart Janssen over there quickly checking to make sure everything is okay.
I think he's concerned about the swing and distance to the block next to him as well. In fact, they prepare for the heat coming up as well. Yeah, indeed. I think they're going to end up moving the block a couple of centimeters to our left, stage right. No, he's going to go ahead.
No, he's just going to reposition himself. He was just concerned that with his swing, with his swing out, he might hit the other block, but he's going to reposition himself.
Okay, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Siljeberget versus Svadling. Both athletes need to come from both sides, remember.
Yeah, you got to cut through from both sides, and Siljeberget, you could see he's got a nice driver from down low, but his driver from top to down is not so clean. Kalle Svadling, he's got salad on that first side as well. They both move over to the second side pretty evenly with each other. I couldn't tell you if one was a stroke ahead of the other, but it seems like they're pretty much dead even. Now look at those cuts up top from Kalle Svadling. One more driver should do it for him, and that's beautiful, accurate cutting on the second side for Kalle. His first side was a bag of salad, but the second side was really nice, and Ole Magnus Siljeberget struggling on that second side here, finally drops it in 39.60. So Kalle with the time to beat for the moment with a 29.25.
Very nice indeed. Be interesting to know, be interesting to hear from Siljeberget later whether that repositioning affected him mentally in any way. You know, you run through your mental preparations, you picture yourself going through the motions, and then you have to end up doing it differently.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both cuts are good.
There's the confirmation from the referee that both cuts are good. 39.51 for Siljeberget. Not good enough to win that heat, but good enough for a couple of points nevertheless.
Yeah, at the moment he's sitting in second place in the discipline with 11, but that's definitely going to change as some of the faster hitters get out there on the standing block chopper. You can see here these drivers from Kalle Svadling on the first side. He was just going power for power on that first side, and you could see some accuracy in there, but there were a couple of offset hits, and then on that second side the accuracy ramped up majorly. You could see there those are beautiful sides, nice even cuts, and he wasn't cutting new material the whole time, so it was a quicker second side for him and a really nice time for Kalle Svadling.
And a nice wry smirk on his face there. I think he knew that that was a good one. 29.25. Let's see if we get close to those kind of times in Heat 2. This is Pontus Scheer from Switzerland. I beg your pardon, from Sweden, excuse me. Going up against the Dane, Vebjørn Sundsteby. Switzerland, dear viewers, is not in the Nordic region. Pontus just removing a little bit of detritus there from his axe. They are very particular, these athletes, about their preparations. They like everything to be just as they like it.
So it looks like Pontus has added a little bit of lube to the axe as well. They'll do that very often for that
you see
first
that
driver.
there, don't you?
Because sometimes, you know, with the power these guys have and the sharpness of these axes, they will get jammed in there and stuck, and you got to wrench it out of there. So that lube will help to prevent it from getting stuck. And there we see Norway's Vebjørn Sundsteby.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber.
This is Heat 2, Sundsteby Scheer.
1, go!
Wow, quick start from Sundsteby there as he's getting in with a lot of quick drivers. Pontus Scheer going for it as well. Sundsteby over to the other side. He went pretty shallow on the first side, but he's got a wide open cut on the second side, so he's opting for the quicker second side, hopefully. Pontus Scheer about 3 strokes behind Sundsteby, but he's got so much power, he might be able to catch up and get through, and it looks like it's waggling. He's done it. Pontus Scheer with a 24.72. And Sundsteby, he didn't do it deep enough on the first side and had too much work to do on the second side, and that cost him. That's a little bit of that tactical thought process, but for this particular moment, it didn't really work out for him.
That fist bump from Pontus Scheer said it all, didn't it? He knew it was good. 24.48 as it stands.
Well, I mean, we also know that Pontus Scheer was just behind Ferry Svan in the previous overall rankings after the first 2 disciplines, so he's fighting to be that top man on the totem pole today.
He really is. Indeed, although we still have one heat to go in the standing block chop, he is currently atop the leaderboard. So very interesting and slightly surprising drive here from Scheer. Can he keep it going for 3 more heats? That is the question. Look at the power going into that with Scheer.
Yeah.
Shortens up the arms just at the end there, doesn't he? Just to pull all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, the axe isn't wide enough to cut the whole block, so you have to reposition the axe each time with small strokes in and out. So each time they make that adjustment, you can see how the axe is cutting in and each movement. And yeah, it's really interesting. There's a lot more to it than you might think of just banging away at a block with an axe, you know?
That is very true. While the fantastic team readjust the set so that we can continue on with this discipline, why don't we check out a small break and look at the wood that we use here in the competition.
We as STIHL Timber Sports pride ourselves that all wood is sustainably grown, harvested and recycled to minimise the overall amount of wood processed. Firstly, this popular wood is grown on certified plantations. Secondly, the white pine for our sawing disciplines is only sourced from certified forest management. After all our STIHL competitions, all the spent wood is collected and recycled right down to the wood chips and sawdust, which, for example, is converted into renewable energy in the form of wood pellets for biomass. We quest to find certified partners. This ensures that all newly planted trees are nurtured and managed, promoting maximum efficiency and sustainability for the future conservation of our valuable forests.
Therefore, as you can see, with good harvesting practices and good management with silviculture, the ground is quickly replaced by new trees, or could even be used for arable for farmers and future rotations.
At the end of that clip, you saw Spike Tiger Milton there, the expert, telling us all about how carefully the Timber Sports team looks after the wood. Okay, so we've got one more heat to go in the standing block chop, and it is Svan versus Hansson again. Here they are. These boys know each other very well, don't they?
Yes, they do indeed, and it seems like the collision course that I predicted of these two guys going up against each other all day long is not necessarily happening for Hansson's side of things. He's currently sitting a little bit far down in the overall standings, dead last, in fact. Okay, he's going to get some points here for sure, but it's a tough job for Emil Hansson right now.
So the pace being set as it stands after 3 disciplines by Pontus Scheer.
Stand
Currently on
timber.
33 points. Svan on 21,
3,
Hansson
2,
19.
1,
They're both going to need to go some here.
So watch these two guys go at it. I mean,
Look at
you
those
can
huge
see.
chunks coming out.
Yeah, Hansson has got a really wide stance. Ferry Swan's got a very active swing. Hansson now moving over to the other side of his block. 3 strokes behind is Ferry Swan, and this is where both of them can go either way quickly. But Hansson looking very, very good on this discipline right now. He got a bit of a sticky axe there, Ferry Swan did, but Emil Hansson did it in 22.71. Ferry Swan in 24.69. That gives Ferry Swan 2nd overall and Emil Hansson 3rd overall at the moment. So Emil's still in the mix. He's only 1 point behind Pontus Scheer, who is in the lead at the moment. Oh, but excuse me, there's been a change. Ferry Swan's time was adapted, and he's gone down a little bit here, so 24.46.
Both cuts are good.
Very interesting. Up until a couple of seconds ago, Svan had the 3rd fastest time in the standing block chop, and his time was just corrected down by the video judges to 24.46, just 0.02 of a second faster than Pontus Scheer, which is very interesting indeed. This is how quickly things can change. We see now the Hansson and Svan, before that heat, they were both 5th and 6th respectively. They've leapt the whole stand to now sit atop the leaderboard, 1st and 2nd place respectively.
Yeah, we'll take a look at how that shifted after we see our results here in a minute, but the slow-mos, we're seeing these guys just go for it here. Now on the second side, Ferry Swan did get a bit of a sticky axe just close to the end of his run, so that could have caused yeah, there, right there was a bit sticky, and that was the difference maker. He needed 2-3 more hits to get it done. You know, I don't think he would have beat Hansson in this case, but he would have been a little bit faster. So it still helped him nevertheless.
You know what's interesting about timber sports, and what I seem to see quite a lot, is that you often get two of the fastest times from the same heat.
Yeah.
It almost feels like they kind of drive each other. I remember speaking to a couple of athletes, asking whether they have, out of the corner of their eye, you know, a look out for the competitor on stage, and they often answer with yes. Of course, they're concentrating on what they've got to do, but that other pace and that dynamism on stage seems to drive performance, right?
Well, of course, if you know you've got another guy on stage that's pushing you as well, you know, you're going to play up, especially if you know that you're not quite as good in that discipline as the other guy, then you're going to want to try and keep up with him. And, you know, we just call it playing up. And it very often works to the advantage of both guys, because then they know they're pushing hard to make sure that they get the points that they need, but also beat the other guy that's on stage.
Absolutely right. Okay, let's see what all of those times have done for the leaderboard then. The first round is over, so hopefully we can see the standings. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Okay, while the team prepared that graphic, just going back to the two boys who were 5th and 6th respectively, now they're 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a bit of a statement moving forward, Svan and Hansson?
I don't know if it's going to be a statement. These guys have been making statements their whole lives as far as Timbersports is concerned, but it's interesting to see Ponta Shia in the mix as much as he is. We know that he's a very good, in fact, an excellent athlete when it comes to Timbersports. So coming up into the next discipline, the single buck, it's going to be interesting to see how Pontus gets there. And further in the next round, in the 5th discipline of 6, is the springboard. We have two guys in Hansson and Ferry Svan that are excellent in this discipline. So that's going to be probably the game changer for Ponta Shia. But we know that, you know, he's been working on his game a little bit. So let's see how he does in the next two disciplines here.
Let's check out then the next discipline.
The 2-meter-long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter-long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand-sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into two types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old-school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos and its base price starts at around 1,500 euros.
So apologies that we didn't get to see the graphic that we really wanted to see just a moment ago. Yeah, the tech team are burrowing around in a box of cables as we speak, and I'm sure that they'll be sorting that out. While we're here, we can move on to the next discipline. Single buck. Couple of words about that before we start.
Misery whip, 2 words.
Okay, let's have a look. Hopefully we have the graphic. We do.
Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
There you are. The STIHL Timber Sports geniuses have got the start list up for you there for the single buck. It's Svadling in Heat 1 going up against Sudsteby. It'll be Zully Berget against Sky. And wouldn't you know it, the computer's drawn Hansson and Svan against each other.
What a shocker.
Again.
So in this discipline, we know that Kalle Svadling is very strong, but then so is Ferry Svan. It's going to be interesting to see how these times bulk out for them. Also, I'm very curious to know how Ponta Shia does in this one. He's been traditionally very good in this discipline. So we'll find out when he gets his chance at the misery whip. Meanwhile, Kalle Svadling and Vibjorn Sonsdeby getting ready for their heat.
So currently Svadling in 6th place and Sudsteby in 5th. They're both going to have to go some if they want to make any kind of inroads into the business side of this. And this is the time to start, right? It's 6 disciplines. We're now in discipline 4. We're starting to separate, the wheat from the chaff here.
Quick check by Radu, our judge there, and Bart to make sure that the depth of the set cut is fair for both.
Maybe you can hear a quad bike in the background here just passing us as we speak. We are part, of course, of an outdoor festival here. There's all sorts of exciting and interesting tools and machines going past. Hopefully not too disturbing for you at home. I hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you're enjoying the entertainment.
Okay.
And mainly hope you're enjoying the STIHL
Ready.
Timber Sports.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2,
Single
1,
buck,
go!
heat one, Svadling soons to be.
So right away, Kalle Svadling with a really good start, and I love the fact that he's using the entire length of that saw. Sons to be struggling to get the saw going. He's got a couple of hookups, and this is going to be a good time from Kalle Svadling. A season's best and personal best from the Swede. Great job at 12:16. Sons to be struggling with that saw. Finally gets it done at 21:04.
Well, that absolutely destroys my good performance always comes in twos on the stage theory. But a great show from Svadling. A personal best of 12:09 and a season's best. Fantastic.
Yeah, Sonsteby was just, I think the saw was wiggling and waggling a bit too much for him, and he didn't have that straight cut going, and that was the difference maker there because he kept getting it hooked up.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both cuts are good.
So
Yes,
that was a blistering time by Kalle Svadling there, and a personal best, season's best for him. So that's fantastic, great news. And you can see, I mean, he's just a skilled sawyer with that single buck in hand. Now here's the difference: all of those angle changes by Sonsteby
valuable time,
cost
doesn't it?
valuable time and energy to restart that saw. You can see it there by Kalle as well. A couple of times where it got a little bit chunky at the bottom, and that was a very dangerous situation at the bottom as well.
Almost snapped off, didn't it?
It almost snapped off. Luckily, it snapped off as a complete cookie and not as a little piece of tab left over there, right?
Heat two then is Sullyberget versus Shear. Svadling has really set it there, 12:09 with the season's best.
Yeah, Pontus is going to have to really put it into that wood in order to get past that. But his personal best time of 14:05 is nothing to chaff at. So we'll see how he does here. And knowing that Svadling has done a great time of 12:09, he's going to really want to, you know, put every ounce of his hips into that one. And these hips don't lie, right? So
Well,
let's see how we go.
what's interesting about these two boys is the difference in you know, body shape that they've got, right? Sullyberget, very lithe, thin,
wiry
guy, you could say, yeah.
And Pontus, she is a power package. I mean, he's
right.
a muscular man.
Yeah. Will it affect their technique?
Okay.
We will see.
Excellent.
Here we go.
Ready.
This is heat number
Stand
two with a single
to your
buck.
timber.
In
3,
white,
2,
Sullyberget going
1,
up against
go!
Shear in yellow.
So Pontus, oh, he got a good start, but he got hooked up on that third draw in and push. And Sullyberget looking very good, digging that elbow in. Pontus Shia struggling a little bit towards the bottom of the cut, but he's going to have a 15.11 cut. He came from behind, actually, as Sullyberget was a little farther along, but a personal best 18.82 for Sullyberget. So the Norwegian has a great cut there, and he's managed to get himself third place in the single buck standings with Kalle Svadling still atop, but Pontus Shia a good time in second place.
All right.
Put your shoes
ladies
on in a
and
second.
gentlemen, both cuts are good.
First the referee talks, then you put your shoes on. That's how things work here at Timber Sports. As you see the athletes pack their saws away.
So you can see here the start for Pontus was good, and then he got to that point right there, a small hookup. Didn't seem to bother him much. He's got so much power, and you could see the expression on his face as he wanted to get going. Yeah, and you know, he'd had to take a breath and breathe it out there, and finally got it going. This is a really smooth run, though, from Sullyberget. He had good flow. He kept the saw moving, and he was using the entire length of the saw. I didn't see a lot of choppy hookups for him. And at the bottom of the cut for Pontus, it was just a little bit heavier and choppier, but he nevertheless got through in a fairly decent time of adjusted now 14.90.
So you can probably hear our local host Lars has already announced the two competitors in the final heat here, and that is Hansson against Svan again. Currently first and second on the leaderboards.
And look at those times. National record for Svan, 12:01, and a 12:72 for Emil Hansson. That's not that far behind. So this is the spot where Ferry Svan can really open it up on Emil Hansson and try and add a few more points. So now the question is the pressure getting to Emil Hansson, and is Ferry Svan going to be able to utilize that to his advantage?
There's the whistle. This is the third heat. Sweden v Sweden. Svan v Hansson.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Ferry Svan opting for short, quick strokes, trying to put power into that. Hansson going for those long, efficient strokes. Let's see who's going to get to the bottom of this one first and fastest. It's going to be Ferry Svan with another national record, 11.92. So he's gone faster than his previous 12.01, and that's a great job also by Emil Hansson, getting a 12.62 personal best. But that has Emil Hansson in third place here. Ferry Svan takes the top spot. And that means that's going to have a little bit of an effect in the overall rankings. I don't think too much, though. I believe those two guys will stay in the top 2 spots, but we'll see if we have a graphic that's working after this slow-mo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, both cuts are good.
Both cuts are good, and that means that we've had 4 personal bests out of 6 today.
Love it.
One of those is a national record. Absolutely, that's what we love about TIMBERSPORTS here. 11.69, Ferry Svan. Talk us through it here.
Yeah, 2 different styles altogether here. Now, Ferry Svan usually goes for those long strokes, but I guess he just changed it up a little bit to try and get through the cut as quickly as possible. There you see Emil Hansson going for those long strokes, tip to knuckles, and you know, that works well for him, but Ferry Svan obviously just using the middle part of that saw and going as quick as possible to keep the pace, and it worked out for him. Another national record for Ferry Svan and the top spot in the single buck rankings today.
Very interesting. What's interesting is that because the 2 of them have gone last each time in the last 2 disciplines, you've never really known where you've stood, have you? And I've just been told in my ear by a very positive sounding producer that we have a ranking to look at. Here it is.
All right.
Looks good. Confirmation that the 4 Swedes were the 4 fastest, and including Sulleberg's personal best, 4 personal bests in total, a season's best from Ferry Svan, and he will hold the Swedish record for that time of 11.69 as well. Great single buck in here.
Yeah, fantastic job by Ferry. It's going to be interesting how this changes the overall standings. I don't think the top 2, top 3 are going to change much, but let's have a look.
Indeed. They are starting to break away from the pack a little bit. Svan leads with 48 points. That 12 points from the single buck will put Hansson into second place of 43 points, closely followed by Scheer and Svardling. It is an all-Swedish top 4 at the moment. Very interesting. Can Norway pull anything out here?
It's going to be tough. They're going to have to be absolutely fantastic on the Springboard. That's coming up next with 2 boards. We're going to take a look at that in a second. And for me, this is like a deciding discipline. Usually when we have the elimination rounds, who's going to be going on to the hot saw. But for this particular status with just 6 athletes in the competition, it's going to be all about the points. And getting a good Springboard is going to be really, really critical. And it's such a difficult discipline to get good times in, so maybe we'll have a quick look at the Springboard discipline here.
We will in a moment, but when you talk about talent and skill and times and stuff like that, you know where we might see talent and skill and times is at the World Championships.
Ooh, maybe, yes.
Ooh, will you be at the World Championships in November?
I think I might be there, yes.
I think he might be as well. My question is, will you be there as well? Interestingly, we have some tickets available. It was sold out, but we have freed up some seats, especially for you at the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart in Germany. If you're roundabout, make sure you get some tickets. If not, check it out on the stream, because the World Championships are something very, very special. Welcome, 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 welcome to Gothenburg, Sweden. It's been a long time coming since the last time we had an individual World Championships, but we are back.
We have 12 of the best TIMBERSPORTS athletes ready to rock and roll this evening.
Yeah, it's been a long few years trying to get myself back in position to be able to come back and compete. So I'll be focused and trying to put my best efforts out there to see if I can win the competition.
talked to him earlier. He says he's feeling good and he wants to do well today. And you can see Jason Wynyard, really quick drivers as he opts to go front side first. Let's see how these times end up as Jason Wynyard gets it in 25.82. Christoph Geisler not too far away as he should get through in 3 or 4 more drivers.
Delosa, of course, part of the winning Australian team yesterday. Can he go as far in the individuals as well today?
And just narrowing in on 20.63.
Oh, look at that.
Brad Delosa with the time of the day so far.
That's absolutely smashed. 4 seconds off the quickest time for today already. Bubaré is looking to get under 37 seconds.
Well, of course, I'm going to be rooting for my countrymate Marcel Dupuis, but Matt Kogar has been looking so fantastic this year. Should be a good time for Kogar. Wow, look at that. 18.59, fastest time of the day.
Matt really sort of set the stall out there, didn't he?
He did, absolutely. He threw the gauntlet down for the rest of those guys.
Kogar will take 12 points with him into the next event.
Nice lift by Marcel Dupuis as he gets in quickly, but it's Jason Wynyard with that knowledge of Saw himself, so quick on the upcut, and that's a personal best for Wynyard with a 10.09. Wow, this is dead even. It looks like Delosa's got a slight advantage. The transition was very nice by Koen Martens, and it's going to be another close one. Oh, a personal best for Brad Delosa. Oh, great start by Danny Martin. He's got a pretty fat cookie there. Geisler's a little bit thinner, but they say thin to win. He's got to be careful on the upcut, but it's Martin with a great time, 9.76 in stock saw. And Geisler's got himself a personal best of 10.26. Fantastic.
Here we go, in the stock saw, the confirmation that Martin got the best time at 6.61, and there you see those 7 personal bets all the way down to Martin's. That means that as it stands, Delosa currently tied for first place with Drozdek on 20 points, and Wynyard, Martin, Kogar closely behind them.
Armin Kugler, an absolute beast in this discipline. Roussel's got to depend on power up close, and it's looking close for both of them. It is, oh my God, how close was that cut? 26.81 to 26.73. All right, getting right into it. This is a discipline where Marcel Dupuis isn't quite as good as Ben Cumberland, but no, we're just kidding there. It's going to be a quick one for both of these guys, hopefully. And it is for Jason Wynyard at a 24.10. A couple of sticky ones for Marcel as he gets it. And here we go. Action is on.
Great view from above there, yes, showing the power of the two boys.
Emil is a fantastic axeman, though. You can see Matt Kogar is just in fantastic shape as well. He's looking very good. And as the world record holder, ho, 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 ho! Well, Matt Kogar with a 15.92. That is the fastest time of the day. Emil Hansson doing his best on the second side with a very respectable 24.31.
Yeah, it's the first World Championship, so I'm happy. I'm the youngest one, and I'm just here to learn. I need to go home and train more, I think, and get some experience also on the competitions. That's important.
Emil Hansson representing Sweden. It was fantastic having you here.
Matt Kogar was the fastest, as I said, over 8 seconds faster than the others. Time to move on to the next discipline. Let's check it out.
So Marcel Dupuis is really, really strong in this discipline, and you can see already he's gotten that saw going. He's got good flow. Martin Roussel is right there with him. A little bit of a deeper stance for him. And oh, Marcel Dupuis with a season's best, personal best, 11.60. We now have a new world record with Marcel Dupuis having an 11.42. Nice start by both of these guys. Matt Kogar looking very relaxed. Arkadiusz Drozdek, he's looking a little bit chunkier on his strokes. And Pretty rough on the bend, and it's Matt Kogar with a 14.16. Nice time. Now we've got two absolute legends coming up on stage. And right away, both of these legendary single buck Sawyers getting right into it. Brad DeLosa and Jason Wynyard. Jason Wynyard has the world record without assistance. Oh, wow, look at that time. Holy smokes.
Jason Wynyard, 11.86, good enough for a personal best. Brad DeLosa, 11.96, good enough for a personal best. Let's take a look at the ranking here, and maybe Ben could give us his thoughts on why we're seeing so many great times today.
You know what, it's funny because oftentimes at competitions when the wood seems to be chopping very firm or chopping hard, it saws really, really well.
That's a 4-hit pocket for Martin Roussel. He gets up onto that first board. No foot change by Marcel Dupuis. He goes for the awkward angle backside cut, and he should be there fairly shortly. Yes, he does it. And I do believe after adjustments that he will be under a minute because he's got 1:00.14.
You want them to be at a 45 degrees, and then your second hits are going to come up at about a sub 10 degree angle, and then you want a 30 degree into that 45, and that's going to create a little bit of a wedge. Driving blows, his block's starting to wiggle a little bit. There we have it. Matt Kogar, 49.13 unofficially. Let's keep it going for Arcadius Trozek. There we have it, 107.56.
Six-hit pocket for Wynyard. Same for DeLosa. Wynyard's up pretty quickly. DeLosa already trying to set his second pocket, so DeLosa was a little bit faster getting up onto that first board. So they're getting close to the bottom of the rank here for the Springboard, and that's going to affect the overall ranking quite significantly. Danny Martin has the slowest time thus far, and it's Brad DeLosa with 1:18.61 and Jason Wynyard with a 1:20.04.
Very much into the hands of people like Marcel Dupuis and particularly Matt Kogar. Leading the field with 50 points at this stage is Matt Kogar, and as I said, Marcel Dupuis also bumped up to joint second place. DeLosa and Wynyard also on 45 points. I think you could probably say that Martin, Grosdek, Rousel and Kugler are probably out of it by this stage.
Oh, this is a good cut. This is a very good cut. What's he got for time? 5.33. That is a beautiful time for Danny Martin.
Wowee! 5.19 for Danny Martin.
Jason Wynyard can win it if he's got the fastest time and the other guys get below second or third place. Oh, hung it up there. Oh no! All right, that's a chunky time for Jason Wynyard. All right, so we've got a good cut, and Jason Wynyard's 8.23 has him second.
His personal best at 6.10, if he were to match that today, would be good enough. Oh, he's straight
massive,
through all three.
Massive second cookie, a 5.77 personal best.
One thing is clear, Jason Wynyard will not get the Big Ten this year.
Right now, Marcel Dupuis getting ready to drop his 3 cookie. Good start. Heavy swing. It might be a good time for Marcel Dupuis. 5.92.
5.92. 5.9 of a second down on the fastest in this round. Better than 5.78 seconds. That's the number we all need to watch for.
Good start. The saw's running clean. First cookie looks good. Second one looks good. Oh, third one looks good. Oh, 6.07.
So close.
The time is 4th place.
The cut is good, and the time...
6.06 is the adjustment. That means he's 4th fastest in the discipline. That means he's got 59 points to Brad DeLosa's 60. That is unbelievable.
Aloft.
Brad DeLosa is your individual world champion.
don't know about calm. It was a pretty tough day in the office out there. You know, I didn't mess the springboard up quite badly, which put myself under a lot of pressure. But yeah, look, I'd just like to thank, you know, STIHL, Lieber and Ford for a great sponsorship. You know, they put on a great event here and something I'm very proud to win, and congratulate all the other competitors, you know, Matt and Marseille for their medals, and all the other guys that put on a great show, you know. So it's always great to get out here and compete against the best.
Look after yourselves, take care, and we will see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in 2023 in Stuttgart. From all of us here,
Oh, yes.
Take care, bye-bye.
Ciao, everyone. See you.
This is IMO Evo. Cuts perfectly and looks after your lawn for you. Take control of your garden. Perfect lawn, intelligent mowing. The next generation IMO, only from approved STIHL dealers or online.
You heard the me from 2022 saying we will see you in 2023,
Yep.
and it's now 2023.
Here we are.
Well, here we are, and in just a couple of months in November, we're all going to get together again for the World Championships, the Team World Championships and the Individual World Championships, this time back home in the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart. Are you looking forward to it, my friend?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's always crazy action at the World Championships for the individual and for the team. The team format is so fantastic as well. It's bang, bang action right from day one there. So if you have a chance, get tickets. They release some extra tickets, some extra seating. So please do join us at the Stuttgart Porsche Arena because it's going to be fantastic.
Bang, bang action. This is what bang, bang action looks like. Check this out.
It comes down to Mitch Sargent and Shane Jordan battling hard on the standing block. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Australia or New Zealand? Oh my God, how close is this? And it's Australia!
The atmosphere last night in the team's relay was unreal.
That is their title of Team World Champion 2 years in a row.
Oh, definitely. It'd be the noisiest crowd I've competed against.
Shane Jordan's already over there.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps thinking about it right now.
The crowds here, they were just erupting.
You feel the energy of the crowd.
My goodness, what a great comeback from Belgium with a time of 1.
The crowd was absolutely electric.
And it was so much noise and support.
Ja, doch, das pusht schon rum und mein Fanclub ist auch da.
Very passionate about their country and, yeah, the competitors.
Yeah, it feels super.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
It's pretty awesome to compete in front of a crowd like this.
But he's not giving up. He's looking good.
Like such an adrenaline rush. It's an amazing feeling.
They make a lot of noise, and that's good for our spirit. Is it going to be the Czech Republic? And the crowd goes bananas. It's absolutely extreme here. Man hört's.
So the amazing team on stage has got everything ready for the 5th discipline. It's the Springboard. We're going to see 3 heats again. We're going to see Svan versus Onstebe in heat 1, then it's Zuleberger and Schür in heat 2. And I promise you, the computer is randomly choosing this. Hansson goes up against Svan in heat 3, wouldn't you know it?
All right.
Heat 1 then, Svan versus Onstebe. Both are going to have to really go some to make any kind of impact into the final standings here. Sonsby currently in 6th place with 31 points.
Atlas,
Svan
ready.
currently in 4th
Stand
place,
to your
39.
timber.
They're only going to hit 2 of those.
2,
the other
1,
2 are waiting.
Go!
That was a great pocket by Sonsby there as he got up there quickly to set that second pocket. Kalle Swadling took a little bit longer. It was about 8 hits to get that pocket set. Sonsby now trying to set his second pocket and get that upper board in place. This is a critical moment here to make sure that board is stable. A little bit of sag is okay, but you don't want too much sag because then you start to lose the possibility of pushing off that back foot. Kalle Swadling's got his set now. And moving up onto that second board, he feels like it's okay. Now he's got his work cut out for him on that top spot to cut that block off the top. He feels like there's a little bit of sag in that board. Meanwhile, Sonsby's having a very good run here on that top. He's not going to make it in under a minute, but it's going to be a solid time here. And this is such a finicky discipline too. There's so many things going on that these guys have to do in order to make this work properly for them. Kalle Swadling now starting to get some chips out of the top, but you can see he's got a bit of sag as Sonsby drops it in 106.60. Kalle Swadling having to move closer to the block now because of the sag in that board, and that means he's using less power. The power is coming from his upper body. He's not able to use his lower body and really push off with his back leg. It's a tough job up there, especially now that he's getting past the 1:30 mark.
He's feeling it now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's definitely tiring. He took a lot of time to set that first pocket. The second pocket was much quicker, and now he's moving over to the second side. We do have a time limit for this discipline as well, so he's got to be careful to make sure that he stays within that time limit. Getting support from the audience in the background here that's on site, and he's really struggling to get through that backside. He didn't cut deep enough on the first side, so he's really having to cut through more material. And he's finally got it just under the wire at 155.65.
Great job. For those of you who are seeing this for the first time, I cannot stress what an incredibly complicated and technique-oriented discipline this is. Really fantastic stuff. They're 2.5 meters. What's that, about 3 yards up in the air, 9-10 feet up in the air. To get those blows to knock the block off is really impressive.
It's also an incredibly dangerous discipline too, because you know, you're up there that high in the air with a sharp instrument in your hands. If those boards give way and you fall awkwardly, it could be a very bad situation.
Lest we forget you're holding a razor sharp axe in your hand as well.
Exactly. You can see Sonsby, he had about a 5-6 hit pocket there, and that first one got himself up, got ready to set that second pocket. Kalle wasn't really super happy with the first pocket, but he got it. It took him about 8-9 hits to get there, got it in place, and that was the difference maker, really. Once Kalle is up top, he's cutting well, but it's getting up to that top position that's really difficult. And you could see his board starting to sag. He was gingerly checking it to make sure
he wasn't sure, was he?
He wasn't sure. He was gingerly checking to make sure the tooth on the end of the springboard bit, and you can see from this angle here, his sag is down about 10-15%, so it was a real problem for him. And Sonsby even had a little bit of sag on his as well, but it didn't seem to bother him as his time was just over a minute. But Kalle came close to the 2-minute mark there at 1:55 and change. So, yeah, it was a rough one, and that's the way the cookie crumbles, literally, in this case, because you have to be good with those pockets to get working on that top block.
So let's have a look at E2 then in the springboard. It's going to be STIHL from Norway up against Pontus Scheer from Sweden. Both of their personal bests round about the 120 mark. So they're going to have to really go some to get anywhere close to Sonsby here, who really put a very interesting score of 106 on the board.
Yeah, Pontus Scheer has a personal best time of 125.77, so he's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to stay among the top 3 guys, especially in this discipline. And if he doesn't get a very good time here, it's all going to come down to the hot sauce. So he wants to have a little bit of buffer here after this discipline to make sure that he is in the mix when it comes down to the hot saw.
So that good time that we just saw in Heat 1 from Sonsby has climbed him up into position 3 in the overall standings, but of course still with 2 heats and 1 more discipline to go. This is STIHL against Scheer.
Go!
You can see the oil there splashing out, can't you?
So that's a 6-hit pocket for Pontus Schia. Sulje Berget made it 7, possibly 8, and he's trying to set that board now, but it's not hooking up properly. Yeah, now he's got it. A little bit of sag is okay on that bottom board. The bottom board not so important as the top board. Pontus Schia, meanwhile, has a really, really beautiful first board, but he's taking a long time to set that pocket on the second board. A little bit of housekeeping there as he gets the board up and in position. And Sulje Berget, he's got a saggy one there. He's going to do a recut there, and that's a massive angle for Pontus at the top, so that's a beautiful board actually. It will sag and lock in a little bit, and now he can really push off of that back leg. And we may see a personal best time for Pontus here. He's gotten up the block fairly quickly, so I'm hoping that he can get through there with his power nicely. He's just about at the 55-second mark here. So he should switch over to the other side, and I really do hope that we see a personal best for him. Sulje Berget, he's got a bit of a wiggly one there, as that board is pretty much, he's got a bit of sag there from that angle.
Over on the other side.
Yeah, Pontus moving onto the backside there, and he should be through in under that
there it is.
Personal best time. There, he's done it, 1:14.59 for Pontus. Very nice job by him, and that's an improvement that we like to see. Ole Magnus Sulje Berget still struggling on that first side. He's going to have to really work hard now to get through. He's got nice and deep, and he's going to want to go a little bit deeper. But remember, he's got to cut through from both sides of the block for the cut to be legal. Now you can see he's getting a bit tired too, because his cuts are going straight in. They're not angled anymore, so he's losing the ability to concentrate with the axe handle, and now he's moved to the backside. And he's just doing his best to get through there, try and chip away.
Shot there.
Yeah, rare is very rare, in fact, and should go about any second now here. And he's done it in 1:56.86.
Loses his axe in the process.
But that may cause a disqualification. You have to hold on to the axe, so we may have a problem there for Sulje Berget.
There it is. We can see Max, the cameraman, zooming in on it. There it lies. We're going to have to wait and see whether that's going to be an issue. He got a pat on the back from the referee.
He might be okay.
There. Let's see if that was just nice social skills or whether he really did pass.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both cuts are good.
Okay, good. So I think it was all about the timing. I think the event was finished as he let go of it. I think that's the decision that's been made there.
Yeah, I just thought as far as the safety, because safety is a big issue for STIHL Timbersports, so I thought that because the axe and block went down together, that it might have been a disqualification because of the axe being let run free, basically.
We've seen another personal best, though, dear Timbersports viewers.
Yes.
A personal best time of 1:14.38. Only the second fastest time today, but it's not only about the points that you get, it's not only about climbing these standing boards, it's about personal development, and Shu's got to be very happy with that today. The fastest he's ever done the 2-board springboard. Well done, sir. Right, so we've got one more heat to go in the springboard. And of course, it's becoming a bit of a trend now, but it's Hansson versus Svan again. You've seen these two up on the springboard a couple of times, right?
Yeah, they both have under-minute personal bests, so I'm expecting them to be among the, the top two guys. But again, it's such a finicky discipline that anything can really happen with this particular thing. You don't set a pocket right, you don't feel the board properly, you want to go back and reset the pocket. That takes time, it takes effort, and it takes energy away from what you need at the very top. So, it's about that consistency, that preparation, that routine that you have as an athlete in timber sports to make sure that you really are on point when it comes to setting those pockets and getting up there. And both of these guys are going to want to set quick pockets, quick boards, and get up and work on that top block.
We're going to check that heat out in just a moment, but we've already teased the World Championships. Let's take a look at what it might be like.
Herzlich willkommen, Stuttgart!
Record for Sterling Hart. To celebrate the 90th anniversary, STIHL has brought the STIHL Timbersports World Championship back to Stuttgart.
You saw the address there. We'll put the address in all of these links as well. There are a few extra tickets which have been released. It was sold out, but so many of you want to come, we've decided to put a couple of extra
3
tickets
or 4,
in.
yeah.
So to get to the international, to get to the World Championships, there's the host nation places one athlete, but then there's this European ranking qualification system. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of the European nations that are participating in steel timber sports, the top 8 nations qualify for the World Championship. And you can see here in the ranking at the moment, Koen Martens is atop the ranking list with Mikael Dubitsky, Redmer Knoll in the mix there, Pierre-Puy Barret from France, Glenn Penlington from Great Britain, Alessandro Ciapponi from Italy, and Gavin Thompson from Ireland in the mix there as well. So
bit of a dark horse, isn't he, Thompson?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Who you don't see there is Danny Martin, who is going to be a part of the host nation. And we're still waiting to get the results from this event here as well. So that's going to change. And how it works is their times from each of their disciplines is kind of ranked similarly to if it were a competition nationally or internationally. And those times are listed, the best times are listed, and then they get points for those times. And that's how the European rankings are set up.
Thank you for that. Very nice, very easy to understand. And you mentioned Danny Martin, who will be representing Germany at the World Championships. A little shout out to Danny and his family.
Yes.
Danny became a father yesterday.
Congratulations.
I believe his boy is now called Lucas, named presumably after Lucas Farkersreiter, right? I assume. I don't know. But all the very best to the Martin family. So the World Championships will be there. We hope you'll be there as well. Available on all the normal streams, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, on some local country TV channels as well. We'll be there. We're looking forward to seeing it. I'm reliably informed that we are ready to go on the stage, so we can dive right into the third and final hit of the Springboard. Here we go. And it is, of course, against Hansson and Svan, because that's just becoming a trend.
Reliably informed.
These two have lived up to their reputations of favourites so far today with 2 disciplines to go. Can they hold on? Which one of them will take the title?
So there you see Ferry Svan's national record for Springboard, 41.69. Emil Hansson, he's got a personal best of 52.04. And as I mentioned, both of these guys under a minute. But it comes down to those pockets and getting quick pockets and boards in place and getting up there and being able to work that top block. We know these guys can cut standing block chop incredibly well. And that's basically what they're doing on top these blocks. They're cutting a standing block chop. However, they have to have a good board up top. If the board is sagging, it's going to cause you to have to step in towards the board, choke up on the axe, and cut with short, choppy strokes instead of using the power of your hips and legs as well.
I wonder if there was a little bit of mind games there. Ferry Svan came very late to the stage.
Yeah.
He's had a considerably less preparation time. I wonder whether he's just trying to give Hansson something to think about here today.
3, 2, 1,
Hansson
go!
Svan, this is heat 3 of the Springboard.
So that's a 4-hit pocket for Emil Hansson, a 6-hit pocket for Ferry Svan. Hansson, yeah, is first up. Both of them have good boards here by the looks of it. Second pocket is critical for both of these guys. Hansson's looking very good today. He's got nice angle on that second board. His dad was excellent at this discipline as well. A quick sag and that tooth bites in. Ferry Svan's late to the show up top, and he's got himself a good board. Ooh, that sagged heavily though as he started to work on that top block. Hansson with the definite advantage, but his board is starting to slim down a little bit and dip, and that's going to be a problem if it continues to do that as both of them get going on the top here as we're getting towards the 50-second mark. Hansson onto the other side of his block. It's a bit of a salad on Ferry Svan's, but it's Hansson with a 53-2-0. Ferry Svan in trouble here, and that means Hansson could well move ahead of Ferry Svan in the overall standings, which means it will definitely come down to the hot saw, and he's gone past a minute here. He's moving onto the backside to cut at that awkward angle, but it seems like he can cut at any angle, no problem at all. He needs to give it one more hit to get that block off, but it's a 114.60. That's 4th place for Ferry Svan in the overall, and that means that Emil Hansson has just moved up into the lead in the overall standings.
Very, very interesting indeed. Those few seconds could be absolutely vital. Ferry Svan's time of 1:15 is only the 4th fastest in the Springboard today, so he'll only take 10 points with him into the final standings. That's made it much tighter, and in fact, it's opened the door for Pontus Scheer,
and that was
very interesting.
That was an uncharacteristic run by Ferry Svan.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's normally we're seeing him up there and cutting quickly.
Both Scots are good.
I think you can read Ferry's body language there. He doesn't look happy. And I've got to say, I don't want to criticize the boy, but the preparation wasn't great. Came on stage very late.
Well,
I wonder whether that had an effect.
I don't know. I think maybe that that his routine was a little bit broken there. It's hard to say. But if we look here, you see Emil Hansson uses 4 hits to set that pocket. Ferry needed 6. That's not an immense difference, but it is a small difference. Now, and you can see Emil is on his board as Ferry is getting in his board in and starting his second pocket. Now both of them took a little bit more time with the second pocket setting, and even after all of that time you could see that Ferry's dipped significantly, so that means he had to step much farther forward on the board and wasn't able to use that back leg to push off of as much as he probably would want to. And see both of these guys just working as hard as they can, but it was Emil Hansson's day on this springboard.
Yeah, get rid of that little bit as well, because that was just totally in my way.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, really? That was part of it?
Yeah, you have to. That's part of the top block, and if he didn't, then that would mean that it's not a complete cut and would have been a disqualification.
So, very interesting run here. Hansson with the best time, 54.27, over 12 seconds faster than Sunds to be in second place. He'll take 16 points with him to the final discipline. But they're the shocks. Svan with a time of only 1:15.81, 21 seconds back. He'll only have 10 points to take with him. Scheer, with that wonderful personal best, will give himself 12 points, and he's opened the door for himself. As it stands, these are the overall standings.
Maybe. There we go.
As we can see there, Scheer in 3rd place and in touching distance of first. So it's very, very interesting. Anyone from Scheer, Svan, or Hansson could take this thing. Svan will be kicking himself, won't he?
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself right now, and for sure, Ferry Svan's had a little bit more experience with the hot saw than Emil Hansson has, but Emil does have his dad, Hans-Ove Hansson, to give him a lot of tips, and I mean, in particular, he's got pedigree there. Ferry Svan's had to learn that hot saw, figure it out. It's a love-hate relationship with a lot of these guys. That's why they call it the make-or-break discipline. But it is the one that's going to be the decider, especially for the top 3 guys. So theoretically speaking, Pontus Scheer could win the whole thing today if he's got an excellent hot saw and the other 2 guys don't cut really clean, because there is 18 points up for grabs here in the hot saw.
Absolutely right. Any one of the 3 could win it. Ferry Svan with a national record just a few days ago, so he is in the zone. As they warm up the machines behind, let's check out the next act. Here we go.
These custom handmade race-tuned machines are built for maximum power and precision and to cut the wood as fast as possible in a competition. They are built with a 60 to 80 horsepower single-cylinder 2-stroke engine, often taken from a snowmobile or high-powered motorbike. The hot saw can weigh up to 30 kilograms and its chain rotates at over 250 kilometers an hour. The cost of a competition hot saw used in STIHL TIMBERSPORTS is upward of 6,000 euros.
So there it is. We're going to see one of these machines going through its paces here. They have to warm them up because the engines have to be red hot for when they do their business.
You can see those motors are super powerful. These are very, very dangerous machines. They're tuned saws, as you heard. He's Vebjorn Sundsteby with the Norwegian national record in hot saw, 7.06 seconds. That is a very, very quick time. There's not a lot of space for these saws to cut. 15 centimeters In fact, I think we can see a little bit more about the tool and discipline up next.
Hot saw. For the hot saw, power saws are called into action, and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
All right, this is the big one. This goes very, very fast, but it's going to decide a lot in a very short amount of time. Sure, Svan and Hansson can all still win this. Let's check out how those intricacies might give us a winner here.
This is the one and only discipline where the athletes are alone on stage.
Yeah, probably the most important event, but yeah, also the most frustrating.
These saws are so incredibly powerful and dangerous.
Usually the hot saw is the decider. Hot saw, hot saw.
Like I can't describe to you when we're out there under pressure.
Saw starts well, first disc looks solid, cut is good.
You know, you're always ending the competition on a hot saw, so you know where you're going to be at when you finish. So you're either at a real big high or just is what it is.
Nice clean cuts, easy, relaxed.
Der Hot Saw ist für mich die geilste Disziplin der Welt.
5, 6, 8, Robert Ebner, 3 on the deck.
Hot saw is a love-hate for me. I honestly don't get that much enjoyment out of it. I'm not a motorhead. I swallow my pills and eat it.
Once the competition comes, anything can happen. Oh no, a false start by Sterling Hart. What a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disappointment for me. Happens though, it's part of competing.
I saw there's 3 good discs there, but then let that nose come right up underneath the crossover line.
Unfortunately, a disqualification.
It all relies on the hot saw.
Oh no.
Irgendwie soll es einfach nicht sein. Und dann springt die Hot Saw nicht an, wieder mal.
Oh man, that is a bummer for Robert Ebner.
What are you taking away from this event?
Oh, probably last place. I don't know, headache. Yeah, shit hot saw. What else do you want?
If you have bad luck or if you did wrong, it's part, just your experience.
Oh my goodness, what an absolute disaster, the chain came off.
I was not disappointed because everybody see that I can be with the guys in front.
It was a bit of a disaster, so it was just operator error, and I didn't perform as well as I would have liked to.
Nice safe cut.
Oh no! Oh no! Never prepared for that situation, but luckily it started and I got 3 wheels and now I'm the world champion.
Yeah, it's the make or break event, you know.
I think you love it and you hate it.
Das ist eigentlich immer ein geiles Ding. Ich schneide immer sehr sicher.
Oh, great start for both of these guys. Look at how quick it's going for Robert Ebner. Oh my God, Robert Ebner, he's got a world record. Holy smokes, folks.
Ich wollte das Ding heimbringen, ich wollte Weltrekord schneiden und ich danke meiner Familie zu Hause und alle, die mich unterstützt haben.
Just try to make 3 good cuts and no disqualification.
The hot saw is where it's all won, so that's the best event.
So while you were listening to that clip, we were listening to
that machine.
That machine and several others absolutely blast the eardrums of all of the people watching here. We're getting ready for the final discipline of the day, and that is, of course, obviously the hot saw. We heard your voice on a lot of those clips there. You've seen world records fall. You've seen tragedy, drama. It's all possible with a hot saw, isn't it?
Everything is possible. Chains have come off. We've seen the saws stop in the middle of a cut. We've seen saws not start, and that is one of the toughest situations for these guys, absolutely. But, you know, this is part of the competition, and especially with high-performance tools like this, you just never know what's going to happen, which is why it's so important for them to be maintained properly.
So it's the final discipline of the day. We've got an all-Norwegian first heat of Sulleberget and Zundsteby, and then it's the 4 Swedes, Svadlin, Scheer, and then Svan and Hansson.
Shocker!
Those 3, the last 3 named, can still win it. Scheer, Svan, and Hansson, depending on what happens here, one of them will be crowned Nordic Pro Champion 2023 today. Let's see which one of them it is.
All right, Ole Magnus Sulleberget, he is the world record holder in the stock saw, so he is capable of doing some damage with the hot saw, and you can see his personal best is a very respectable 7.73. Fabjørn Zundsteby, a 7.06 and the national record there. So these two guys pretty well matched up in this particular discipline.
I'm sorry,
it should be
what was
interesting.
that? What did you say?
Hard to hear over the noise of these machines.
It really is. It's great fun, though. They've got to go down, up, and down, or up, down, and up. They've got to have 3 cookies. And you can see pretty much everyone on stage there with ear protectors on. This is super loud.
You can also see those
warm up your soul.
screens they've got set up there. They're basically bulletproof. There we go. That's the noise. All right, some changes of position by Max so that our photographer can get his shots as well. And the last set here of lift and sets. And this is the key moment, making sure that all the right knobs and buttons are pushed and clicked and set so that these guys get their saws started. Now, you're not going to hear much from us while the actual race is on. The race happens very quickly, folks. So when you hear those saws start, don't blink because it'll be over in a matter of seconds.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Zundsteby had to go back for another one because the second cookie was way too thick.
Sulleberget might be in trouble as well, as I think he got pretty close to the line there. And we saw a couple of cutouts, so let's see. There's that cutout cookie, but he did go back and cut another one. Did he go over the line is the question. We'll see what the judges say.
That doesn't look good either, does it?
No, that's a cutout by Sulleberget, so it could be that we do have a DQ on his side. So it was good thinking by Zundsteby to go and cut that 3rd or 4th cookie to make sure he's got a time in the books. It's going to be a slow time, though, so let's see what the judges have to say here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have a disqualification on this side. The 1 cookie is incomplete. And a good cut on this side.
The good cut, it was a little bit slow.
Yeah.
He had to go back for a second dab at it, but 12.84 is the front runner at the moment, and unfortunately, Magnus Sulleberget will not take any points from the hot saw because he's disqualified for that second cookie. Thin, quite literally thin margins in this event, right?
Yeah, very, very thin margins. You just can't make any mistakes at all in the hot saw. There's no room for it. And you can see that's the 4th cookie that was cut by Zundsteby, and here's the cutout by Sulleberget, who's clearly more comfortable with the lighter 661 saw in his hand. And there is his 3rd cookie. So it's actually the cutout was on his 1st cookie. He didn't notice it because he could have gone back and cut a 4th cookie just like Zundsteby did. And here we go with our next heat lineup.
It's going to be Svadling against Scheer. Remember, Scheer could still win this whole thing, and he's looking at the very least to get on a podium, so he's looking for a good time here. Svadling currently back in 5th place.
All right. Rado Kasaku making the markings on the blocks to make sure that they have their 15 centimeters lined up.
So with 18 points awarded for the winner of the hot saw, there is really everything to play for here.
Yes.
Even way back in 5th place, Kalle Svadling could under certain conditions, if Hansson, Svan and Shear didn't bring it, could even leap the whole bunch. So really anyone's in this here. This is really, really interesting and very tight.
Yeah, among the Swedes, it's an open season for who can get it. So it's really about getting those saws operating quickly and cleanly.
I've been trying all afternoon. I'm still not entirely happy with my pronunciation of his name, bless. Lars certainly does it more elegantly than I. There you see the studded boots going on there.
Yeah, they're using, in a lot of cases, a shot put or a javelin shoe. They have a little bit longer spikes so that they can have good purchase on the wooden floor here, because it is quite a slippery surface, especially with all the sawdust that's out there. And even with all the good work that our stage crew does to get that stage cleaned up and safe for everybody out there on deck, it still can be a little bit slippery. And when you've got a 35, 40 kilo saw that is spinning with a chain speed of like 240, 260 kilometers per hour, you don't want to be slipping around out there.
As you might have heard in the clip, some of them have jet ski motors in them. If I was holding a jet ski motor on stage, I wouldn't want anything to slip on. All right, we get rid of that blue line. We don't like that one. We like this one, though. This is where we're going to go. As long as they're within those two outer longer blue lines, all is good. So it's an all-Swedish heat. This is the last time the two of these athletes will be performing today. This is Shear on the right-hand side going up against Svadling, also from Sweden, on the left.
Warm up your souls.
Beasts.
Wow.
Absolute beasts.
Oh, every time I'm just knocked by how loud that is. So much fun. If you haven't seen a TIMBERSPORTS event live, by the way, dear viewers, you've got to check it out. It's so much fun. And it is so fantastically loud at parts. Brilliant. Don't sit at the front. That's the only rule.
Unless you've got ear protection.
Unless you've got ear protectors on.
You can see on that saw bar from Kalle Svadling, it's a very fat bar, quite different to the bar that Pontus Schia is using. I've been of the opinion in the last few years that the fat bar is just generally better for making sure the chain doesn't pop off, but I might be wrong.
3, 2, 1, go!
I spoke and I jinxed him. Unbelievable.
You called it.
I jinxed him. No. Kalle Svadling, I apologize for that. Pontus Schia with a 7.64 hot saw. Oh, no.
Wow,
he was doing so well.
The chain off there.
He was doing so well. He had a beautiful start. Yeah. His second cut was beautiful as well. That down cut on the last one was just the chain came off. I think he might have clipped the top of the block as he came over and put it in, and it came off.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have a disqualification on this stand. There are only 2 cookies. It should be 3. And a good cut on this stand.
Wow, scenes here, Svadling. I'm so sorry, my man. A disqualification.
Yes. I feel guilty for that one as well. All that talk about the fat bar and the chain not coming off, and what happens? His chain comes off. I think I owe him a beer.
That is bitter. That really is
bitter. Let's see what happened here. So that first cut was beautiful. Great. So was this one. Let's see if we get a better view here. So this is Kalle on the upcut. Goes on the down. It was on the down cut on the third one. Something locked up in there, and the chain just slipped off. But there you see Pontus Schia, his 3 cuts were very good. So I guess my theory of the fat bar is right out the window there.
I couldn't see immediately that he made any kind of mistake. It just seemed to be one of those things, didn't it?
It might have been that sometimes what happens is if you go in with a bit of an angle, like a slight angle going down with the saw, that it puts a little bit too much outward pressure on the chain on that bar, and that's probably what happened there. All
so
right.
really exciting stuff here. We've got the final heat to come. This is Svan versus Hansson. Just to give you a little bit of a picture of what the stand is at the moment. Scheer is currently in first place with that cracking time of 7:64. If he were to take all 18 points, that would give him 71 points and first place. And as it stands, Zundsterby is in second place with 60 points, and Hansson and Ferry Svan on 59 and 58 respectively. Should the three of them pick up third and fourth fastest times, or goodness forbid, a DQ or anything, then we would be crowning Scheer the champion here, and Zundsterby will take second place. But Hansson and Svan could also both take first or second place or third place. So
it's all over the map right now.
Over. So let's just summarize what I just said. Anyone could win it here, pretty much.
Let's keep it simple, huh? the KISS principle.
A little bit of last-minute oil here from Ferry. There's the whistle, my man. He likes to cut it tight with the preparation time, doesn't he? Those protective shields, they're really important if a chunk of wood should fly off.
Yeah, or a chain.
Oh, good.
So that's not a good sign for Emil Hansson right away. His saw didn't start, so he's going to have to rewrap. Now, he does have 30 seconds to rewrap and try and
re-pull. They're both rewrapping. They're both.
Now, Ferry Svan did his. He got it started, so he's just rewrapping to get ready for competition.
Okay.
But it was good to see that the saw did start up for Emil Hansson. So a good job by him. Pontus Schia just walking by our stand right now. He's coming out to see family, I guess.
So what happens in the next few seconds will decide who is the Nordic Pro Champion 2023. This is it. Don't go anywhere, people.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Huge problem for Hansson. He didn't have the saw all the way through, and it's a national record for Svan with 5.45, and that means Ferry Svan is going to take this, but he's got himself a massive cookie, so he could have a DQ here. They're taking a close look at that one.
Look
so
at
they're
this.
calling Radu over to double check the call.
We're going to get a second opinion here. This is going to be
tight.
Oh,
my goodness. Look at this.
If it stands, Svan will have taken the title, but if not, oh, my goodness.
Emil Hansson's 12 points might not be good enough here.
Does he know something we don't know here? So as it stands, Ferry Svan would have taken the title with 76 points, but it all depends on whether this gets the green light or not.
So they've had to cut off the block so they can actually look at the block in wrap and walk. So it looks like we might have a DQ for Ferry Svan here.
I didn't like the look on Bart Jansson's face there, did you? That looks like a grimace as opposed to a smile.
That looks like it's a cut over the line as well.
Here we go. This is it.
So this is the deciding factor right here. A lot of discussion going on stage here, and the tension mounts to see whether or not Ferry Svan.
Hansson had to go back a third time as well.
Hansson had to go back a third time as well, so his time was quite a bit slower because he didn't have the complete cookie cutout.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately on this stand we have a disqualification, the line was cut. And on this stand we have a good cut.
All right, the time was not awesome for Emil Hansson, but it was enough, and that means Emil Hansson will be our new champion.
Wow, so much drama in the last scenes here. Had that been not over the line, Ferry Svan would have taken it.
Watch this second cut from Emil Hansson. He doesn't have the tip of the blade all the way out, so he needs to reposition and recut, and that means that it's a reset in time. And then here we could see the second cut was good.
This
Just the
one
third
here, isn't
cut,
it?
it's just too big, too much angle. But it was a great time. Unfortunately, it was just over the line.
Wow, incredible stuff here. That would have been the title for Ferry Svan, but that time, or that disqualification, I should say, means that he lands on 58 points. And although it was a slow time, it was good enough for Hansson for first place. And Sure benefited from Svan's error there.
Yep,
He'll end up in second place.
Yeah.
Wow-wee, so much drama, so much can happen.
Unbelievable situation.
Even athletes who aren't on stage can benefit from it, right? Here we see the confirmation. 18 points go to Sure with the best time in the hot saw of 7.64. Hansson with the second best time, 7.91. That'll give him 15 points. Sadly, 3 DQs mean that the final standings look thus.
This is a heartbreaker discipline too, as you can see, which is why they call it the make or break discipline.
Look at that. Zuleberg will take 6th place with 41 points. Svadling in 5th. Zonsterby will be 4th. And then the podium will be all Swedish. It could have been Svan on 1st place, but because of that DQ, he will take 3rd place with 58 points. 2nd place will go to Sure on 71 points. And Hansson, wait one moment, as it stands, is on 74 points, but I've just been told that there is a video check on Svan's cut. Stop it, people. This is too much.
Drama continues. I can't handle it. My heart is going to explode here. So our judges will be coming back on stage here by the look of it, just to give us a confirmation, I believe. Let's see what they have to say.
Right, we're being told that we're gonna come back here in the studio, so we still don't know who's won it. We were just wrapping up there, and it turns out that the video analysis have maybe found something that the judges on stage weren't able to see. So
it might have been a jump start. That's usually why they're going in to check those things. But the question is now, we've just been told it was a DQ. The question is, who for? So that's what we need to know. If it was a jump start on Emil Hansson's side, that means that's a DQ on his side. And that means that Pontus Schie will be the winner here. But we're going to wait for the confirmation.
No, I believe the information that we're getting, sorry for this, it is pretty crazy, but the information that we're getting is that Ferry Svan was disqualified.
Yes, okay, well, that was clear already.
I beg your pardon, I thought we were getting a definitive response on stage there, but that's not the case.
Nope.
This is so exciting. Who thought the Timbersports was just people cutting wood? There's a lot of drama here. As it stands, the DQ stands. Ferry Svan was disqualified. The video analysis have checked that and confirmed that as well. So we can tell you that Hansson will be crowned the Nordic Pro Champion 2023. 2nd place will be Schie, and Ferry Svan will take the 3rd place home with him and a rather fat cookie.
Yes.
I think we can go to the stage and get an update on the award ceremony. Is that right? Who knows anymore? It's so much up in the air. Yeah, let's go to the
stage.
So we're just getting the last couple of sentences from a conversation here in Norwegian for you with our local Timbersports expert being interviewed by our local host here, Lars Eikanger. And there you see it. You see the 3 bottles of champagne and the podium waiting for the top 3. We're going to have all the athletes come out here on stage, and they all get the applause that they deserve, and then we will see the top 3. Here we go. Nice, warm Norwegian applause for the 6th place. That was Ola Magnus Suleberger.
There's Kalle Svadling in 5th place. Disappointing hot saw, and I'm going to blame myself for that one because I jinxed him on that one. I'll shake his hand and give him an apology later on. I have to cut the head off of the snake before he finds out that I said that in watching the replay of the show.
4th place goes to Verbjørn Sundsteby. 57 points in total, no DQs. Good showing from him.
Third place on the day, Ferry Svan. Not what he expected, and by virtue of a cut line and a DQ in hot saw, that's why he's there. Disappointment on his face is evident.
And the dark horse maybe today, we didn't mention his name as a potential podium holder until very late in the day, but he put in a great show today. No DQs, 71 points, 2nd place and a silver medal for Pontus Schie. Well done, sir.
your winner today, kept it steady, kept it stable, and kept it clean, Emil Hansson. He walks away with a gold medal, 74 points, and he just continues to be a rising star in Swedish timber sports and timber sports around the world, in fact.
Look at that, a very yellow and blue podium there. Sweden, Sweden, and Sweden in third, second, and first place. And it's the calm before the storm. The medals are being handed out here. Why are they getting 2 medals? It seems a bit much. I didn't get 1. They get 2.
One's a participation medal.
I see. I participated today.
Yeah, me too. I want one.
We're going to hear the national anthem of Sweden. Hats back on, not only just as a sign of respect for the national anthem, but also because you're going to get wet in a minute.
Yeah. Last pictures before the mayhem ensues with the champagne showers.
Okay, boys.
Ferry straight away off the stage.
That was pretty mild, I'd say.
Yeah,
pretty,
that was very mild. Kalle Swadling had to jump in there and do the shake and bake. Good job by our guys, though. Fantastic event.
Right. Brilliant. Hansson first place, Sjö second.
Oh, look at that
Svan
view.
in third place. And there we are. What a wonderful view of the festival here. We've had a cracking day. The sun's been shining pretty much all day. We saw the rookie champion, Edvin Karlsson, take home the Rookie Nordic Championship this morning. And we've just seen Emil Hansson take home the Nordic Pro Championship. Just a quick review of a couple of highlights from today here. That's Max, our cameraman, on the drone shot here, controlling that with great aplomb. Well done, sir.
All our cameramen are named Max all of a sudden.
I think they are. There's definitely something in it. Beautiful. Lovely shots. What a great day we've had. What drama right at the end there.
Right
that
at
was
the end.
Silly, wasn't it?
Just goes a bit crazy, a bit bananas, with boom, boom, boom here in the heart. I mean, it's madness, but that's the way it goes. That's what keeps it exciting at the very end, and we have a new champion.
We do, and he is standing with our local host, Lars, on the stage. Over to you, Lars.
Oh, okay. I will do this interview in English since it's going on our international big TV show. Hi there. I'm standing here with the Nordic champion in the pro class STIHL timber sports here in Elverum in Norway, Emil Hansson. It was so close, but you got it in the end.
Yeah, it was close, as usual. Yeah.
You were a little bit behind. There were 2 disciplines left, and then you closed the gap and passed Ferry with 1 point before the final hot saw. What went through your mind?
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit in the start, and I had a bad stock, so really bad. But at the end at the competition, I was doing pretty good, I think.
Pretty good. You're the Nordic champion.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does things look ahead towards the World Championship?
Yeah, it will be awesome to represent Sweden at the World Championship, the individual.
You got a good feeling now, huh?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, just go home and train more.
And how was your qualification now? Do you know for the World Championship?
No, I don't know yet. I will look at the database.
Okay. But you're looking good, yeah?
I don't know. I haven't looked there.
Okay. We cross our fingers, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the World Championship. Thank you so much, Emil.
Thanks.
Did you enjoy yourself here in Norway?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, all the best. Thank you. Okay, og til alle her på Elverum som har...
Beautiful, lovely interview there. He's a man of few words, but he's a man of high action, and he has been crowned the Nordic Pro Champion today. So we've got a couple more cracking events coming up before the World Championships.
Yes, we do.
In November. Remember, as Troy told you earlier, some competitors can qualify to get to those World Championships. Let's take a look at how it stands after today's performances. Yeah, we can say that Hansson currently in 4th place. Those points today did him very well indeed. What do we think of this field here, Troy?
Well, it looks like Gavin Thompson got pushed out of the possibility to go to the World Championships, but we still do have the Austrian and Swiss Championships coming up, so that might shift things around a little bit. It's still not all to play for, but there will be some shifting probably in the European ranking over the next month and a half.
So it looks like 2 of the athletes that we saw today, Hansson and Zunz, to be, as it stands, they'll be there. We'll be there as well. We hope you will as well.
Yes.
But there are a couple of other events coming up. There are points to be had.
Yep.
Maybe we can take a look at the one last graphic, and that will be of the upcoming tournaments.
They're madly searching for the graphic in the graphics package in our
we
system
could draw
here.
it on a chalkboard, maybe. Here it
there
is,
we go.
looking good, beautiful. So we've got the Swiss Championships coming up, as we said. That'll be live via live stream. The Austrian Championships, you'll be commentating there as well, Troy.
Yep.
Then we've got the European Nations Rookie and Pro Cups in Seefeld. That's a slightly different format, isn't it, where they work together, right?
And they don't have any effect on the European ranking.
Right.
That's just for the nations ranking. So that's going to be a fun one because it has the rookies and the pros working together to gain points as a nation.
Absolutely fun. And then the 1st of October, the German Pro Championship also won't be collecting points because Martin is already there.
Correct.
And the last 2 that we saw on that list were, of course, those World Championships, the Team World Championships and the Individual World Championships. I think that's about it from all of us today here. You could see that just that one little link in a chain can mean everything. Congratulations to the winners. Have a wonderful afternoon. Let's check the highlights out. See you later.
Ciao, everybody.